This is not actually what I did in my picture, my report on it. I liked it. It's the ninth dragon. I found it about halfway through my research, and I was too lazy to go back and do my research, so I just like to enjoy the picture. But what I did do my research on was this man by the name of Louis Marchut, or however you say that name. He was born in 1254. And he was somewhere around the time of when Genghis Khan and them infiltrated the Southern Song dynasty. I didn't get the exact date or whenever, but it's around that time period that he was born, and he grew up a priest. He was actually a young priest in society, and he grew up. And when Genghis Khan defeated the Jan dynasty, they seen him and they found him and they realized that he was a highly intellectual scholar, extremely influenced painter, and probably one of the most, the book said, one of the most beautifulest or eloquent calligraphy, or however you say that word, in his time. And I found him interesting. And of course, the overall subject is Island colors on the Queen and Hugh Mountains. Most of us probably felt like this all year long, right? I have. Come on, be honest.
Raise your hands.
This is the actual whole scroll. Can't see it. But anyway, I got closer pictures. I just wanted to show you what the whole thing looked like because I didn't get all of it. But this is probably what most of you are saying right now, too. So. But this is actually the mountains that I showed you a while ago that you couldn't tell which ones it was. If I remember correctly, the Q mountain was on the east side and the Hugh mountain was on the left. What actually inspired this picture or gave him inspiration on the picture was the fact that he was getting through with his rule. He ended up being in the hierarchy of the Mongol rule over China at the time, and he ended up, and at the end of his government stay, at the end of everything, he was on his way home, and he passed this picture. Or he passed these mountains, which are actually, they're painted side by side, but actually there are several kilometers or several miles apart. They're not actually that close together. And he went home, but on his way home, he went to a friend's house, and he painted these by memory. He was not looking at them, he was not doing it, he painted them by memory. He tied it into confusion, even though he had a bunch of different backgrounds and a bunch of different, he was in Buddhism and others. He painted this in the confusion style with the light colors, the dim colors. He's on this side over here, he didn't put no human relationship, but as you can tell right up in here, he brought in the human of the scheme of the Confucianism as a whole. I just love this picture. That other boy said, you ain't getting my Snickers. But this is the Queen, the Q mountain as he painted it, and this is what it actually looks like today. I don't know if it was really bad eyesight or if it changed over the time of the centuries or whatever, but I guess a little south maybe it represented, I don't know, but he did a good job on it. This is the Hugh Mountain, and as you can tell, he captured it pretty good with the peaks and stuff. He got the peaks and everything looks good on this picture. And it's just a beautiful mountain range in actual society when you actually go there and look at it and stuff. I ain't never been there, but I've seen the pictures. I've got more pictures somewhere, but it's actually a wonderful place to look. And from doing it from memory for a friend, he actually seemed to be doing a pretty good job. The calligraphy up there just tells the story of how and when and what happened, the story about his friend and why he did the painting. It wasn't never intended for It wasn't never intended for anybody but his friend. Any questions?